I'm going to refer to my notes because we'll be here all night otherwise. I'm Sara Judy, and when On Track reached out to me at first, I was like, oh my gosh, what an honor. That is so sweet. And then I thought about what they asked, and so immediately I said yes. And then I was like, why would they ask me? I was like, I'm a little confused. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have it together to talk to people, to inspire people. What can I say? And so I just got myself into this worked up frenzy of panic, truly. And then I was like, well, then just get it together, Sara. Just get it together. Get it in the road, girl. So I started digging through all my financial stuff. I was like, I gotta have a budget, gotta have all these things. And so I just slowly just started peeling back the onion, right? Like we do all our lives, right? And then something calls you, and then you're sort of forced to peel back the onion. So that's pretty much what I did. And I went back to the quote that was in the email that said, life and money don't have to be perfect for you to inspire. In fact, the more real you are, the more you do inspire. So here we go. Sara's money roller coaster. So join in the ride. I like to think of this like a warm campfire on this freezing cold night. We're all sitting around it. We can visualize that. And I think it's a great opportunity for all of us in the energy to let go of that which doesn't serve us and to attract what brings us joy. Yes. So here we go. So deep breaths. So my money journey started when I was a little girl, and I'll get it together. I was probably 7 when my parents divorced, and I went from a very comfortable life. I was taken care of, my needs were provided for, to a very uncomfortable life of poverty. My mom was awesome. She still is. She's 81. That woman is a rock star. She said, honey, you go in there and be bold tonight. You be bold. You go in and tell your story. I'm the heart of my family. Everybody else has the bold gene. I didn't really get that gene. So anyway, here goes. But so, not to put any victim thinking around it, but I was 7. So you're pretty young. And I was learning about contrast in my life. That was my point. So I'm looking at my mom and my dad. My mom is leaving this 18-year marriage, 5 babies, 4 boys and me, to a station wagon with $200 in her pocket. So we went from this life where everything was awesome to really nothing. My grandmama sewed my clothes. We were lucky to have shoes. It was intense, and it was an intense contrast that has molded me for my whole life. My parents are both amazing people. My dad is very conservative and more of a businessman. So he's more of a financial person, really, but I was raised by my mom, so that's a very different story. I saw my mom, every night I would lie in bed with her, and she was working without, she didn't have a college degree, she didn't have a job, she had $200. We're all crammed in this tiny little apartment, and she somehow every night she would study and study and study. And I would lie in bed with her so she wouldn't feel alone. I'd just lie there, and I watched her. I would lie there, and I learned. My mom, being in a man's world, she worked for this man for 2 years. He hired another man. I didn't really mean to tell the story, but it's kind of interesting. Was going to pay him more money. And when my mom approached him, she said, I've been working for you for 2 years, and you just hired this man. And he said, well, he's got a wife and 2 children. And my mom was a single mom with 5 babies. Okay? So mom left that job. She left him a nice little note, and then she went and kicked some major ass. She did. She started her own company. We ate canned everything. My grandmama, everybody in my family would can. Thank God I learned those things. Children don't know that stuff now. And they're really really empowering tools for all of us to remember. I carry them to this day. I still can and do all three things. So I had two different stories going on in my life that I watched and I learned. And then I guess I started working about 14. I worked in a fish fry, worked at McDonald's, went to college, worked my way all through college, and thankfully made Dean's List, got scholarships, and then I worked as an actor, singer, dancer pretty much all over the United States. And I did not make that much money, and obviously I did not get famous. I worked with a lot of famous people, but I did what I loved, and I made money doing it. And I believed enough in that possibility that I kept that going. So I lived kind of lean, let's just say it. Well, my one brother said hand to mouth would be what that's called, Sarah. And I still kind of live hand to mouth, but every day I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be right here, and I so appreciate y'all. Your love is tangible. I can feel it. So I got married about 30, and you're full of hope, and you're like, yeah, now I got somebody to do this with. I can really do some things. And then 2 years into my marriage, my brother got sick with leukemia. And so he gets sick with leukemia. I ended up being his bone marrow donor twice within 1 year. And it was just a very difficult time. He died within a year after the donation. So he lived an extra year, so we were grateful for that. You have to look at the good parts. And we loved like I've never loved in my life, ever. So that year began a really difficult year. We lost about 7 people in our immediate family and friends. We had a friend who came, my mother-in-law's boyfriend at the time of many years died of a heart attack in the house. My dog of 18 years, the woman who helped raise me. I mean, it was a bad year. When I got back from Seattle after donation, my husband and I had to take like 5 weeks off to go out west. We lost all of our income during that time, and then I got laid off from my job during that time. And so we came back, had 7 people die. I was just getting by. I'm just going to be honest. I wasn't really thinking about money. I didn't really think about much. And in fact, went into a very crippling depression where I became agoraphobic. So I'm going to tell anybody in this room, if you have anxiety or depression, you can get through it, because I did. And I am standing here as proof, because my energy I put towards healing my heart. And now I'm trying to heal the financial part, okay? So you just have to take what life hands you and do the best you can. That's all I can say about that. So I was in a job for 16 years, which I just let go of 2 months ago, and still I'm like, why did I just do that? Like, what was I thinking? But again, I'm following my heart. I started officiating weddings, and I freaking love it. I'm so happy. It's the coolest thing to watch 2 people get married. I don't care who they are. It's just the sweetest, coolest job in the universe. So I let go of my job of 16 years to go to this and making less money, and I'm like, what are you thinking? But miraculously, in all of that time, I was able we were able to buy our house, which was a miracle. I just let go of my 1995 Maxima last fall. And I got myself a 2016 Hyundai Accent, and I got a great deal on it. And my credit was actually, they said, Sarah, you're actually pretty credit worthy. I was like, what? That's like crazy to me. I was like, that's just nuts. I got a credit card. I lived on cash. People at Steinmark know my name because I put things on hold all the time because I know I can't afford it. But a girl's got to feel like a girl, So what have I learned? A lot. So this is my gem. Life is now. It's not the past. It's not the future. It's this minute. So right now, I strive to rewrite my story right this minute. And now I have witnesses. Great. It's good. Do work that you love and believe in it and prosper from it. It makes for a much happier life than grinding out. And if you're grinding out, it's all right. Find something really cool. There was this really cool waitress that used to work at Biltmore Village at that tiny little diner that was there for 1,000 years. And she was so pumped. I mean, and have you ever seen somebody like that? It just doesn't matter what you're doing if you've got the right attitude. You know, just give it your all. And when you give it your all, when somebody else sees that, and when something else comes along and it just churns the butter, it's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to let go of things you can't afford. It's okay to put everything on hold at somewhere. Be creative. Be creative. You know, when I was depressed, I gained 30 pounds like in a month. I had to take a medication to help me just deal with life. So, being broke, I ate more vegetables than meat, and I started cooking for myself, and I lost 30 pounds. And I started to realize how important that is. So there's some cool, creative things you can do, even if you don't have money, or much of it. When my friends were financially grounded and I wasn't, I was embarrassed a lot. I couldn't afford what they could afford, and I felt really lonely and excluded. And I even said no to a lot of really fun gatherings because of it. I just held my own hand through that. And God, I believe in God. God held my hand during those times. Debt feels like a wet, heavy blanket to me. It is just thick. It's grueling. It's like a wet wool blanket. Let's get more specific. And you just got to start chipping away to get that dang blanket off your back, because it's really heavy. Make friends with your money. Make it your family. It's been there for all of us. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't. And so let's make one of our closest friends. That's a new one. Thank you, Tamara, for that class. I'm learning how nice it is to have a regular paycheck. Now that I don't. Fears in our mind. If we follow those fear thoughts, then we're following a lack vibration. If you're in a lack vibration, you can't attract anything but lack. So back off. If you start to feel like, I hate this, my job sucks, blah, 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 we all do it. It's all right, no sweat. Just back off. Go for a walk and go, God, I'm breathing. Woo, that's pretty damn cool. All right. Just keep it simple. Keep it simple, sausage. So learn from my mistakes. Yes, I am learning from my mistakes, and I am trying to create better habits every day. God, help us. It's every day. Surround yourself with people from all degrees of wealth. I think this is so important. I have friends who are homeless. I have friends who are extremely wealthy. And I mean everything in between. And I love them all. Mm-hmm. I love every one of them. We're all one. We're one person, okay? We can't help each other if we're have an attitude about it. So if somebody's wealthier than you, go for it. Yes, that's awesome. Somebody's poorer than you, buy them a cup of coffee. It'll make you feel better, make them happy and warm. I'm grateful for every moment, my health, my breath, because all of it is important. And I still don't have heat in my home because I don't like to go into debt, so I don't have really much heat in my home. And this is something I want to change because it's freezing outside. Happiness and joy is the precious gift. If I can't find joy when my luck is low, I certainly am not going to find it when the luck is high. So your attitude, keep it up. It brings you the joy. And these are my final parting words. What can I say to encourage all my sisters in this beautiful room that y'all have been so loving? Don't ever give up on yourself, and I mean ever. Sometimes you can have your moments, and they stretch into years. I gave grief a long run in my life. I let it take a lot of my young adult life. I didn't have a child because of it. I let it take over my world. But I still grew. Guess what? You still grow. You still get bigger. And you learn to integrate and love all those shadow emotions because they're actually your best friends. They're the ones that cause you to act. And be curious. Always be curious and follow it. If you feel joy, follow that thread and keep adding to it. If you get stuck or frustrated, back off. Go for a walk. You lose your job, your credit goes down, just keep at it. Ask for guidance, call On Track. I've been calling them for years. They've been awesome. Join a support group, try something new, drive a different way to work, do jumping jacks, persevere. Know that you're a genius. Know that you're perfect. I believe in you, and I want everybody in here to believe in themselves.